Cultural news. Tu Bishvat, the Jewish New Year for trees, began this evening at sundown. To mark the holiday, a community photography exhibition entitled Roots is opening tomorrow at the Neve Schechter Cultural Center in Tel Aviv. The exhibition features photographs taken by students at a special education school in Neve Tzedek, the neighborhood where the center is located. The resulting photos are a culmination of a learning process the students underwent, exploring both literal and symbolic meanings of roots. We heard more from curator Shira Friedman of the Neve Schechter Center.
The exhibit Roots is a special exhibit for Tu Bishvat that is going to take place in Neve Schechter, opening on Monday just before the holiday. Neve Schechter Gallery usually shows professional art with professional artists, and we have about 5 changing exhibits a year. The interesting thing in this gallery is that we choose the topics of the exhibits according to the Jewish holidays. And for Tu Bishvat, we every year have a special exhibit. This is the 4th year already of this exhibit. And we take a break from the professional art and we go to our own community. And in Neve Tzedek, where Neve Schechter is located, there is a school, a special ed school, and we work together with the students in the school preparing for the exhibit. Part of their long year study this year, the topic was roots. And their art teacher, Sharon Agai, taught them all sorts of things about their personal roots, their family roots, and different ways of looking at this topic. And for this exhibit, she took them to the urban nature in the streets of Neve Tzedek and showed them how to look at urban roots. And the products of this tour that she did is the exhibit in Neve Schechter. And for us, it's an amazing evening because we always get excited in openings, and we usually serve wine. This time we don't. But to see the faces of these students when they come into the big hall and they see what they did, how they expressed themselves through the camera, hung professionally on the wall, and especially the great moment is seeing them looking at their name. And we feel that we get from these kids and we give to these kids, and that's what makes the Tu Bishvat exhibit a very special one.
Now, after this learning process where, as you mentioned, the kids talked about roots and many forms, what kind of images were the result?
Sometimes they found plants and they looked at the roots or the branches, and sometimes they're more philosophical roots, and they try to find the pattern of roots in different things in Neve Tzedek. They're kids also, so many times we see themselves. They appear inside of these photos, but that's fine, and that's part of this particular exhibit.
Were all of the photos based on this tour? They were of nature, or they also connected to the themes of their learning process?
It's sort of a combination. They went especially on this tour thinking about urban nature and how can you find roots in nature. And some of them took actually photos of buildings and tried to find the root of the building, if I'm making myself clear. It was the main idea that led them. They didn't look specifically for roots, and then the exhibit has all sorts of images in it.
And what happens afterwards? Do they take the images home with them? Does it remain in the collection?
No. We printed them on canvas, and they look very nice. And at the end, we make sure to bring these products to the kids themselves, and every kid gets the label with his name and the photo that they took.
Shira Friedman, curator at the Neve Schechter Center in Tel Aviv. The exhibit opens tomorrow, January 21st, and runs through January the 27th.